Hi, this is Mario Andretti, and you're tuned into Cam, Graydon, and the team at Stickers N Scuffs Podcast. They're true Canadian racing fans.
Hey, Stickers N Scuffs fans. Looking to buy or sell a home or condo in the Durham region? Sebastian Spataro is who you need to turn to. Sebastian has a couple of decades of experience behind him and is well-versed in not just buying or selling homes, but understanding, explaining, and helping you with the financial part of it all.
In 2022, they listed my parents' home, which sold quickly, and most importantly, it was sold above asking. One thing that Sebastian did do was actually arrange for a 3-day viewing, which maximized the amount of people coming in and out and helped open a lot of opportunity for prospective home buyers to get a chance to see the home. Not only that, he put my parents up in a hotel for those 3 days, so they didn't have to keep going in and out of the house while it was being seen. You can find Sebastian Spataro at Century 21 Percy Fulton Limited and let him know you found him via the Stickers N Scuffs podcast.
We want to thank Sebastian Spataro for presenting this week's episode with the instant classic Andy Kamrath. Check him out at sebastian-spataro.c21.ca.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Stickers N Scuffs podcast. We are ready to go mod talk because this is the man that we need to have on this episode. There's nobody better than the instant classic Andy Kamrath on the show. Andy, thank you so much for joining us.
Not a problem, guys. Not a problem. Happy to be on.
We're excited, man, because I posted a picture from the Autumn Colors Classic on Facebook, and I said, mods seriously need more attention because they are a fuck ton of fun. Yes, we can swear on this podcast. And it was really kind of that race at the ACC where I was kind of, for the first time, I saw the mods at UCASA in 2019. JR stunk up the show in Kelly's car. That's what happened on that race. Yep. But man, what a lot of fun. And you had said, you guys need to cover the mods more. And so I was like, you know what we need to do then? We need to have Andy Kamrath on the show to talk about the mods because we want to talk about what they are. And it, again, fun, great, crazy looking things, great people behind them. Aside from Wally Wilson, we'll leave that alone. But first off, why the modifieds and why are you racing in them?
I kind of got started in the modifieds. I had my eyes on the modifieds for a lot of years. Racing late models and everything all across Ontario. I always thought they were kind of cool. It's funny, it pops up in my Facebook memories even back in 2015. I was like, why do I keep looking at modifieds? Had an opportunity in 2019 that was actually to jump in a modified for Sean Chenoweth. Jumped in it one night at Sunset. Thought it was one of the most fun things I've ever driven, and never really left. Just it's been stuck in it.
Well, that's exactly what you want to hear, right? You want people that are going to be racing. And we actually, funny enough, we talked with Wally Wilson on this show, and he when we talked about what he wanted to do, it was never, I want to go to the Pinty Series, I want to go to the Cup Series, the trucks, or anything like that. I want to run the Wheel and Modified Tour. So Andy, if you have the opportunity, would you ever go and race and these guys are nuts when we talk about those wheel and modified drivers, but would you ever want to jump in and be in one of those races?
I think I'm pretty open to drive pretty much anything. I've done a lot over the years. The guys running that NASCAR wheel and modified, they're no joke. Those guys they're some big boys, and there's some big names there. There's some big budgets there, and it's something absolutely 100%. If I ever had the chance to do it, 1,000% I would do it. But they ain't messing around, them boys.
I think that would be something. I mean, crossover material right here. Crossover material.
Yeah.
Andy, a bunch of our audience we're gearheads, car lovers, very set. Give us a little bit of the technical side, like what powers your ride and that type of thing.
So we're actually we're changing the program up a little bit this year. We're going back to a crate motor. We're going back to a crate motor program. So your Humber View parts there geared us up with one, and you're bouncing around the low 400 mark on a crate motor. They're very, very similar to a APC late model power plant setup. Very similar horsepower, similar clutch setups, shock setups, the whole 9 yards. It's a very, very similar power wise, I would say, to that. And there's a lot of in the OSCAR mods, you're allowed to run built motors. You're allowed to run 602s, 604s. They make it pretty open for the guys, which is good. I like it. But yeah, this year we're going to go back with the crate motor and give her another run and see what we can do.
You've mentioned, give us a kind of a little bit of a career path, the different cars you've driven and how the mods stack up. What's different about them and what's fun about them versus other cars you've driven?
Like I started out 9 years old and I ran junior late models for a lot of years. Doing the same thing, like, you know, guys like JR and Cole Powell and all them guys come up through it. Got into a limited late model years ago, probably 2008. I started in limited late. A lot of fun, a lot of fun to drive. And then kind of raced down at Sunset with in their late model class and took a step back for a little while, to be honest. 2014, I had to do be an adult thing and, buy a house and try and, settle down a little bit.
Can't vouch for that for everybody. That's not the most fun out there.
Well, exactly. And it was just one of those things where I had to, you got to take a look at life but I love racing and, I ran mini stock for a few years, just having fun. My brother-in-law is Warren Paxton. He kind of got me into it and had an opportunity to jump back in when the APC tour kind of started. Had an opportunity to jump back in an APC car with Sean Chenoweth and Mike Schmidt and all them guys. Had a lot of fun. There were, had to relearn myself a little bit. And then we just, I ran for the last 6-7 years. I've ran late model. I've ran Thunder cars. I've ran mini stocks. I've ran modifieds, and just that modified's got that razor's edge. I don't want to say on the edge out of control, but like razor's edge. It's the car's planted into the track. It's they're a bit of a handful, but if you can kind of keep yourself under control a little bit with it, they're a gem to drive 100%.
Now, one of the things that we definitely want to encourage people when they come on and we talk with different people from various classes, we do want to bring up the cost point because that is so important to people. So ranging what we're talking in terms of obviously late model being up, Pinty's car, late model kind of towards the top. Where are we talking for a modified in terms of a cost?
I would say, you're exactly what you said. Your Pinty's is obviously your top. Your APC Pro late model, the guys are spending big budgets there. I would rank basically your modifieds kind of right below an APC Pinty's car. An APC late model. Okay. We're not running bump stops, so we save a ton of money there. I remember lots of years, and I helped Sean China without enough at the racetrack, and you can throw thousands of dollars every weekend at bump stop setups. We don't have the restrictions of running spec fuel. We're not 4 tires every night. We're usually 2 tires or 1 tire. Good. As far as a cost to build the car, the chassis are pretty similar. The bolt-ons are pretty similar. The power plants are very similar as well now. You're saving the money on bodies. Like, we don't have to spend $10,000 on a body anymore. Where I've redone the body on my car every year. It's a few sheets of aluminum, which is a massive cost savings. So I would say it would fall just below that pro late model. And, we still have the traveling costs and stuff like that when running the Oscar tour, but it's not too bad.
That's always good to know, because we've talked with several different divisions, people from all sorts, and you'll find kind of what works and what doesn't. In terms of the models of the car, yours always looks a little bit different than, say, some of the other modifieds. So what's the difference between the models of modifieds that we have in the series?
Well, they kind of created the Oscar Modified series years ago, and it was built on utilizing old super late model chassis.
Yeah,
straight rail, super late model chassis. That's what the class was built on. That's what the formula was on. They've kind of changed the rule book a little bit over the years to allow more so for the Troyer race cars to come along. We never used to be allowed 4-piston calipers, and that was a Troyer thing. The roof height kind of went away because of a Troyer thing. We've lost the ride height rules because of trying to allow the Troyers to come in. This year we lost, the chassis width rule. We used to have a chassis width rule. The chassis width rule is dramatically changed because the Troyer has a much narrower center section.
Yeah.
There's a lot of talk. There's a lot of talk across the pits and across the division that, an old super late model chassis is the way to go, or it's an advantage. And I don't subscribe to that, and of course I'm going to be a little bit biased, but there's a lot of other cars. There's a lot of other cars in the series that are exactly like mine, that are old super late models that have been converted. It's just we got a good package. We got a good group of guys that help us out, and we all have the same rule book to run by every weekend.
Now that we're talking about looks, by your own admission, this year's paint scheme and look at your car is a little bit of a departure from what you're used to. Talk about the red.
So I have always kind of been away from red. I've never been a red guy. I haven't had
in your face.
That's
I love red.
I haven't had red on a race car since 2001 when I was running junior late models. We were originally going to do a white car with yellow and blacks, and just to kind of get away from something different. And I kept flipping around on the internet. My family, like my brother and my father, they're image wraps. And I get flipping through, and I'm like, I start sending paint schemes. And actually, my brother shot me over a red one, and I was like, I don't know. And one thing led to another. We started flipping designs back and forth, and then kind of put my dad in the middle of it too. And red was born, and I love it.
It pops. It looks so good. And it just, I don't know what it is, if it's just the uprising of the different vinyl companies or whatever, but it just seems like there's so many pop and paint schemes coming out that, like, every paint scheme we've seen this year has some sort of notable quality about it. I mean, we have all these OSS paint scheme, and your car is an unforgettable looking car. Like I said, I'm a sucker for red. I love it. And it just seems like there's a real artistic upswing in these cars that are coming out of all different series.
It's funny because you kind of see fads kind of come and go. And one thing that's really made a big comeback is chrome.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cam loves chrome. Oh, yeah, the chrome numbers.
Nothing I love more, man. Chrome wheels give every friggin' day of the week. Absolutely.
We did.
And you've got the reflection. You've got the reflective numbers. Not just the numbers, though. You've got the London Recreational Racing reflective decal on it. So talk about marketing gold under the lights. Like, that thing is going to shine like crazy. Can you talk to, of course, London Recreational Racing, Mike Schmidt? I mean, where is he not racing? Like, where is his logo not included? Because he is everywhere.
Yeah, no, it's well, even speaking on the red, I shot the red over to Mike, and we all know Mike's blue. And I shot it over to him, and I literally said, "Don't hate me." And he shot me a message back, and he was like, "Hey, if you're happy, I'm happy." So I guess that was the green light on that. But No, the whole Mike's London Rec. He's all over. He's all over. He's on a bunch of cars. He's deep into Flamborough there with Frostfest. Crazy, like it's kind of the way it all happened with me and Mike, and London Rec was all over a bet. It was all over a bet with Sean Chenoweth back in 2013. We got chopping one night at Varney Speedway, or I guess Full Throttle now. We got chopping back and forth, and I brought my limited late model down and ran against the pro lates. Actually, me and Sean both did. Ended up beating Sean that night. And we did years ago. We did a podcast and just started, a little friendly wager back and forth. And we both took 2 cars to Peterborough, our autumn colors that year. I ran limited late model and the pro late model, and threw some money down on the line, and kind of that's where the whole thing kind of started and folded from there. And he's, we've never left. It's been a good deal.
I mean, we've got to have a nice pool in your backyard, right?
I do not.
What?
No pool.
Oh, I would think that's the first thing that you would have gotten out of that.
No, it's just he's it's been a lot of fun over the years.
Good.
Doing camping. We camp a lot now, even when I'm not when we all can't be together. I go and help out Sean, and Mike follows Sean around on the tour, and we all help each other out, and it works out quite well.
Yeah, you guys got a big contingent actually of LRR competitors. Amanda Balson part of that. You have the Collisons part of that. Yourself. Who else? And then of course Sean Chenoweth, who I don't know if there's somebody that loves racing more than Sean Chenoweth, running both Quick Super Stocks and the APC late models last year. When is he going to stick you in that late model though? Huh?
We used to do it years ago. I used to jump in a car for Sean. Sean put me in a car, and that's kind of how I started back getting into some more of this race and stuff. And we've talked about it maybe this year. Don't really know. We're kind of fly by the seat of our pants. Sean happens to hate Sunset. I don't know why, but he hates Sunset, and I happen to like Sunset. So we'll maybe see if something can work out. But it's at the end of the day, I'm there to. It takes an army to get those APC cars going through. Yeah. As much as I love racing, I love getting behind the wheel. I've been finding great enjoyment over helping Sean and helping the guys out, and it seems to we have some pretty good runs when we're all there working together. So it's we'll see what happens this year though.
We talk about it on here quite a bit, Andy, and a couple of times I've now been lucky enough to experience it as a competitor too. Racing is a community, and the people in it, like you say, you get around some like-minded people, and you end up your friends for your ride or dies for life, and you end up, like you say, you might love driving, but then you're also finding other fun and learning experiences and doing other aspects of it. It's just, you can get so much from racing that people just don't realize, and it's a lot to do with the people.
You're 100% right. I'm originally from the Owen Sound area. I lived up in Owen Sound until I was 22, 23 years old. I raced Sauble Speedway. Sauble Speedway was my jam. And I moved down here, and I still knew everybody around the area. Like, I moved down here with my wife, and I knew everybody around the area. And she's like, I said, we used to go to invitationals, and you got to know everybody, drinking beer, obviously having some fun on the track. I got a good buddy. Like, I have obviously relationship with Sean. It's a great relationship with Sean and Mike. And I got a good buddy of mine, Paul Pepper there. He's from North Bay.
Yeah, he is. He goes past our house to get down to the races.
That's right. So he's kind of he's dabbled his foot into racing, and he's doing a heck of a job, and we try and help him out as much as I can. And I remember what it was like, back in the day when I was getting started racing, and I didn't know nothing. And I can think of, back in the day, like the Jason Parkers of the world, like those were the kind of guys that kind of helped me out going through it. Just picking little stuff up, and anywhere I can help him. And, he happens to, he comes and helps me whenever he can. And, it's what it's all about. Like, I don't, I don't know. It's just a pay it forward kind of thing, I guess.
It's a pay it forward, and it all evens out in the wash. And the adage where we say, like, the people would rather beat your ass fair and square on the track than see you sitting on the side with a broken part or whatever, that people will come to your aid to, if they got a part that you need, you'll get it just so you can get out there. So you may or may not beat them with that part, but that's the fun of finding out.
Absolutely. You're 100% right. I've always said it. I've always been a pretty open book at racetracks. If somebody needs something, come get it. And it's karma, I guess. I feel like it's a little bit of karma. You got to pay it forward, and
totally,
it works out well. Sometimes
it ends up that you need a whole car. Last year, a big wreck at Delaware Speedway. It was one of those events I actually don't even think I ever saw the accident itself, but there were some big ones that week. I think the same week there was a huge bone stock wreck as well on the backstretch, and I don't believe the car wasn't written off, but it was definitely damaged, and a competitor was able to help you out. Can you talk about that experience?
Yeah, it was one of those things. I raced for a lot of years, and I never won a championship. Never ever did it. Won a championship, won every invitation I could think of. And we went into last year kind of, let's just, if we go out and we win every race, the points fall how it is. The wreck happened at Delaware. It was unfortunate. Kind of guy motor broke in front of us, and I tried getting out of the way, and he was coming down the track, and it was mayhem. Ended up pretty much, for lack of better terms, I think it knocked about $12,000 to $15,000 worth of parts off the car. Broke a couple toes in the midst of it. And I was ready. I was done. I'm like, you know what? I'm not rushing. I got a business to run as well. I'm not rushing to fix this thing. I'm not doing it. I could care less. Just anger in the moment, I guess that's what it was. And I got a couple buddies of mine, Brandon Johnston and Chris Luco, called like Kelly Balson, he's a buddy of ours for London Rec, and said he had a car there, come pick it up. And they left Delaware Speedway that night at about 10, dropped my car off at my house. I live 2 minutes from Sunset, and then drove from Sunset over to basically Peterborough area, picked up Kelly Balson's, and drove back to Delaware that night or that morning, I guess, and landed back in Delaware at 5:30 in the morning.
Damn, eh?
It's what you do for racing, though. That's what you do, right?
It's what you do, and it's the people that got your back when you need it. That's a freaking awesome story. I mean, it's like a terrible situation, but I mean, it's a testament to the kind of people that you meet in racing for sure.
And that was kind of one of the things that it happened. And I was, as much as I say I was gonna, my years of racing, I think, are winding down slowly. I was telling myself, I don't need to win a championship, and if they didn't do that, we probably wouldn't have won a championship. But the moment they did that, I knew we had to turn the car back around in 3 weeks, and it was parts, and Chenoweth put a ton into it. I basically redid the whole body on the car in 3 weeks. Jeff Hanley was building parts for the car, and as they were getting done, and I was taking Sean's spares, and it was a crazy time. And if they were going to do that for me, I at least had to try and put the work forward and do it for everybody else, and it worked out great for the end. I can't complain.
Well, you can say you're a champion now. That's on the resume officially now. And then you go out and you kicked ass at the ACC. It was an amazing race. You got to see it. Sean won as well, so it was like a double down for LRR. And one of the things that was very big in terms of off-season news was the announcement that Sunset Speedway is going to have a hot rod and a modified class this year. You've already been announced as one of the modified drivers. What are your plans for 2023, if you are able to discuss? Yep. And then the addition of Modifieds Racing Weekly, as well as the Oscar division as well, has got to do some wonders for the class. I would expect, because you're going to be more races run and more opportunities for them to be seen.
The whole thing happened, and I heard rumblings of it happening before everything kind of unfolded. We'll call it that way. My plan to do is I'm going to run Sunset. we're committed to running Sunset full time. I got a 6-year-old little guy that's gonna, he's gonna start racing junior late model part time this year. So it keeps me a little bit closer to home, and I guess starts I guess we'll call it disease and another one, because I probably won't get back out of it. But you know what? We talk about costs. We talk about costs of these cars and everything like that. And I think Sunset doing what Sunset did allows for guys to do a home track series. That's number one. It's not cheap cost driving all over the province. I was $1,000 by the time I took my truck and my trailer and my camper down to Delaware. I was a $1,200 weekend just in fuel my vehicles to get there. A lot of people can't do that.
Yeah.
So it allows for that home track. Experience there. Run your 8 races, do your thing. If guys want to run both, they can absolutely run both. I think there's one conflicting nights, and it is what it is. But at the same time, with Sunset kind of doing what they did, they brought more money to the class, which then forced the hand of everybody else to up their payouts. So instead of, I say that it's not much cheaper to build these cars than it does a pro late model. We were racing for $700 to win all over the province before, and we don't do this to make money. We're all well aware of it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, now we can lose less money, I guess you should say. So, Sunset's doing some great things.
Yes.
I seen every week there's an announcement. Whether I would say 90% of the people like it, some people don't like it because it's different. We're going to do a 100-lapper in modifieds. Yeah, I haven't done a 100-lapper since APC series, so I guess it's going to be something different. We're going to be running there full time. I'm going to pick up a couple of the Oscar races along the way. I'm going to go support Mike's race down at Flamborough at the end of the year. I'm going to go see if we can win. I think it's going to be 4 in a row at Autumn Colors, so we're going to do that. And but it's I think it's going to be pretty cool to try and go win that first 100-lapper or win a NASCAR championship, all that stuff. It's just something different. It's a different element to me.
That's super cool. I mean, and as you said, to your point, that Sunset isn't afraid to be pulling some triggers this year with promotion, social media game. They're clearly up in their game, and it's hyping people up and getting everybody ready for this snow to get the hell out of here, and let's get to racing soon.
You're 100% right. I'm a little bit behind the 8 ball from what I usually like to be at.
Right.
But I think in the next couple weeks here, we're going to turn some things around, and with the help of Chenoweth there and Bob and all them guys as well, we'll be able to have a race ready pretty quick.
Nice.
The choose cone. Are you game or are you against?
Well, I am okay for it, 100%. The original talk was the old 1, 2, 3 double up, which I love because give me 5th place and you're going to see some action on the high side.
Yeah. Yeah.
With saying that, I don't mind it. It brings a different element, just brings something different, gets the fans more engaged in it. I think APCs, I heard rumblings they're going to do it now. If it hasn't already been announced, they're announced it basically across all their classes at Sunset, except for I think some of the lower ones. Mm-hmm. It's just something different. We gotta do something different. Like, are they doing that the Pinties this year?
We don't know yet.
Okay. Yeah. It'll be interesting to see, but
we're not sure. I mean, with NASCAR, obviously, Sunset making that call, I think definitely gives us a clue in, but there has not been an official announcement. I think one thing that you definitely said is getting an opportunity for a guy that maybe doesn't run towards the front that can now, no one's going to take the inside. I'm going to do that. Yep. Especially when you do have the mods that are, there's a good selection of the front runners, and then there's a good selection of middle, and then there's a couple guys towards the back, but it gives opportunities. And that's essentially what you've talked about is what we need, especially at tracks where you can have long green flag runs. There are tracks like that. Obviously you've had some moments in your career that would stand out. Winning a championship would be one of them. I'd say probably a negative would be 2020 at Flamborough. That probably sucked. First off, you're okay from that, I believe, right? Like I don't think there was an announcement or anything like that, but I've got to ask, any time to react. If you're not familiar, Flamborough 2020 drive shaft, I believe it was, that came out of a car and spilled oil all over the track, and you hit the wall, driver's side, extremely hard.
Mm-hmm.
So anything that you could have done in that case?
To be honest, that was probably the hardest that I've taken.
Really, eh? Wow.
Yeah, just the way it happened. We had a really fast car. Had a really fast car. Corey handed over the reins that day and let me have it.
Mm-hmm.
And I just come into the corner, and all I really remember is the car. I remember the car starting to spin a little bit, and my reaction was to kind of like let off the brakes and kind of let the car start rolling.
Mm-hmm.
And at that point in time, it was too far gone. I had no idea. I couldn't see anything, and it was I don't remember getting out of the car. It was a rough 3 weeks, 4 weeks. We ended up busting a shoulder out of it, and concussion and all that stuff. The shoulder still bugs me on some cold days, but it's I think I'm still young enough. I can deal with it for a little bit longer.
It's absolutely amazing when you talk about a track like Flamborough. People would not expect the speed again at a track like Flamborough, but something like that goes out of so you put the two together. You had the big wreck at Delaware, but I guess the energy dissipates a little bit better because you had more things to hit, I guess, at Delaware, whereas you hit flush, I believe, at Flamborough, right? Yeah, that would have definitely hurt.
Yeah.
Andy, a championship in 2022. Now you're looking for a championship in NASCAR in 2023 at Sunset Speedway. How can people follow along with your journey this year and the LRR team?
The biggest thing is probably just our Facebook. I'm pretty active on the Facebook. I try and post as much as I can. Instagram, same thing. I've tried to pick the Twitter back up a little bit. I see Sunset's kind of getting a little bit more involved in it. I've tried to pick it back up a little bit. That would be the biggest thing. Obviously, I hope that we win enough races that people are forced to write about us. So that's the biggest thing as well. I've always said that, if they're talking about you, I guess it's a good thing. But yeah, that would be the biggest thing. Mike Schmidt's very, very active of where everybody's racing every single weekend as well. He's a big support of ours, and those would be the two biggest things. But we're going to travel around a little bit. Our main focus is going to be Sunset, but we're going to, I think there's a few guys I've heard, and I know there's a few guys that are happy that we left the tour. So we're going to show back up and let them know who we are every once in a while.
That's awesome.
That sounds great.
Yeah, Andy, I by our own admission, my family too, we're NASCAR nerds. And through this show, we've had our eyes and opportunities open to us to learn so much more about the different racing series. And we've been treated to seeing a couple of the mod races and various other ones. So, I mean, it's been so cool to meet all the different people in different series. And thanks a lot, man, for joining us and teaching us a little bit more about what you do.
Yeah, you know what? Not a problem, guys. I'm sure we're going to run into you guys some racetracks. Dare come on over, say hello. We always got beer in the cooler after the race as well. And it's like you said, it's I meet a lot of great people amongst racing, and I've made some of the best friends and that I've had. And don't be scared to come on over, guys. It's a big community.
Cool, man.
I don't think we can ever turn away free beer, right? Great.
Not this guy.
Not that guy. No, definitely not. But we want to thank the instant classic Andy Kamrath for joining us here on the Stickers N Scuffs podcast. Thank you, Sebastian Spataro, for your sponsorship of this episode. Is much appreciated. We'll catch you all next week on the Stickers N Scuffs podcast.